You're about to get dangerously ahead as a content creator. There are 5 strategies that the creators who are thriving online right now are using, and in this video, I'm gonna break each of them down. And trust me, some of them you would not have even heard before. So if you're trying to grow your audience or earn an income this year and you're looking for some fresh new ways to do it, this video is for you. And trust me, you're gonna wanna use these before everyone else catches on. By the way, this video is sponsored by Riverside, more on them later. Okay, so to kick us off, I'm gonna share a strategy that I'm personally struggling with so we can struggle together, okay? I'm calling this one education versus analysis. You can probably tell why this is something that I struggle with. Now, even if you're not an educational creator, I promise you this is still gonna be very relevant to you. Essentially what this strategy is referring to is a huge shift that's happening online. Because of the rise of AI and how easy it's become to get a bot to generate an entire script for a video for you, people are moving further and further away from wanting to consume content that just focuses on the what rather than the why. Let me give you some examples. A beauty creator uploading her morning routine. The previous way that she may have done it would have just been to break down exactly which items she's using, which is focusing on the what. The new way would be to explain the why. Why is she using certain products? Is there a story behind those products? Can she inject her own personality, her own tone, her vibe, even further into her content than she used to? This is the stuff that makes our content feel human, and this is what people are craving. In fact, marketing data from 2026 confirmed that over 73% of people who consume content prefer creators who provide a unique point of view or some social commentary over those that simply provide generic information. All of this to say that this new strategy is to become the commentator. You need to move away from the how to achieve X and move more towards the how I achieved X. Now, for a lot of creators, this can feel quite challenging and confronting. I say a lot of creators because I'm referring to me, because sometimes it could be very, very tempting to hide behind what you know as a creator and kind of rest on your ability to share information versus on your ability to entertain or to be someone that your audience actually cares about as a human being. I'm getting really deep. This isn't therapy, Jade. Focus. It can be difficult to distance yourself from the how-to to focus on the how-I. But the creators who are getting ahead are the ones who are leaning into this, the ones who are focusing on their analysis. Now, let me share a real-life, real-time example of how I'm trying to implement this strategy into my own content. I've started a new YouTube series called my Lowdown series, where I talk about the most important pieces of news, information, and trends going on social media. Obviously, that's a very factual video. It's me just explaining the what, like what's happening in the industry. So in order for me to utilize this new strategy, I'm going to be sharing my own analysis of each of these trends, how I think you should be using them, my own stories with each of these trends and tips, right? That's how I'm going to be utilizing this strategy. So think about how you could be utilizing it to help you get ahead too. Just a warning that there are more strategies in this video that I have some personal trouble trying to adapt. So we're really going to be in this together. This next strategy is a bit more tactical because it's about how you actually show up on camera, how you speak, and the pacing of the content that you're sharing. Have you ever noticed that your favorite creator seems to have this natural ability to talk on camera and just reel you in? And no, I'm not talking about hooks. I have a whole video where I deep dive hooks. What I'm talking about is the pace of their content. Even if they're sharing the most boring story in the world, somehow they've managed to keep your attention throughout the entire video. Now, I'm not going to pretend that everyone who does this uses this very specific strategy. Some people are just naturally good at it, but for those of us who aren't, we can use this technique to get better. I'm calling this script repetition, which isn't my favorite name that I've ever given a strategy, but we're just going to roll with it. The next time you sit down to film a short form video, I want you to script it. I know what you're thinking. Oh, but Jade, you don't script your videos. Well, that's actually changed. Whilst I don't script my long form videos, I have started scripting my short form videos. And this is because I simply don't have time to waste in my short form. And therefore I can't give myself the luxury of just speaking freely, because then my short form videos will be 10 minutes long, right? I want you to script your videos, and I want you to get to the point where you're really happy with what you've written down. Where this strategy comes in is how you deliver that script. Instead of reading it and then just sitting down and hoping you can remember the whole thing and then getting frustrated with yourself when you mess up, I want you to take your script line by line, and I want you to deliver it to the camera at least 3 different ways. You may have heard of the rule of 3 before. It's something that people use in the production space where they encourage you to say the same line 3 times. Ideally, you want to say the same line in 3 different ways. So maybe one time you say it, you come with the high energy. Maybe another time you're being a bit more relaxed. And then the third time, maybe you're being a bit sarcastic or tongue-in-cheek with it. You're playing around with the delivery of the lines, and you're giving yourself options. If you do that for every single line in your script, when it comes to editing the content together, you are able to get very, very clever with the way in which it all comes together. Because by providing yourself with 3 different options for every line, you can now tactically piece your video together in a way that keeps the pace of the content and also delivers the message in the best way possible. The messaging isn't always about the actual words that you're saying. A lot of the time it's about the delivery. One of my favorite things to do here is to really like go hard on that third delivery of the line. Like amp up the energy, like really go for it. Something that I've learned over the years, in fact, let me not lie. I was gonna make out like this is something that I've just learned from like years in the industry. This is literally something that I've learned in like the last 2 to 3 months, which is embarrassing because I've been doing this for 5 years, which is the fact that the camera like eats your energy. Have you noticed that before? It eats your energy. You could be filming yourself and being like, yeah, I'm bringing energy. I seem fine. Watch it back and be like, oh, this feels a bit flat. It's almost like you need to give an extra 50% on camera in order for it to look like you're 100%. Annoying, but once you get that in your head, it really, really helps. Another tip I'm going to give you, which really feeds into this overarching strategy, is actually one that I learned when I was filming a documentary. I don't think I've ever said that sentence before. It was a YouTube documentary. I'll actually link to it. It was with Sage, the accounting software. Anyway, Mojo's eating my slider and it's making that like, you know, that rubber sound, like the squeak. Ugh. Anyway, I hope you can't hear it because it's awful. It's making my skin crawl. I'm gonna have to move it off her. Babe, he's proper eating it, look. They're really manky. Sorry for showing you that. The tip is to deliver your lines while smiling. And it's gonna feel weird. I only do it sometimes. I've not quite gotten the habit of it yet, but it's the difference between me doing this. Okay, let me deliver a line. I have to think of a line. So I went to the shop to get some ice cream but I'm willing to bet I looked a lot more engaging the second go, right? Because I'm speaking whilst I'm smiling. And it even comes across in the audio. So there you go, you heard it here first. So use those tips and this overarching strategy to improve the pace of your videos. And if you're still on the fence as to whether or not you want to use this strategy, just know that videos that maintain a consistent pace see up to a 20% increase in average view duration versus those that don't. So do with that what you will. Before we jump back into the video, I'm going to give you a bonus tip. That's right, guys. You're actually getting 6 tips today. Don't say I don't treat you. This tip is all about using the right tools to get ahead as a content creator. And the tool that I want to focus on today is the co-creator tool inside of Riverside. Now, we all know that a key part of getting ahead as a creator is producing not only a lot of content, but good content. And we all know how difficult that can be sometimes, right? So if you've ever struggled with that, which I'm willing to bet that you have, because who hasn't, co-creator is the tool that's going to help you. So when you open up Riverside and click on one of your videos, and by the way, you can actually record your videos inside Riverside. Like you can link up the camera that you use, or you can record it directly inside Riverside, or you can upload your content into Riverside and then edit it that way. So if we look at a video that I previously uploaded, one of my demo videos, if we click on the co-creator tool on the right, you'll be able to immediately see a few different ways that the co-creator tool can help you edit, repurpose, and enhance your content. For example, if I click this button, co-creator will improve the sound to studio quality. Even if you're using a mic, you still want to use this tool. And for anyone who vlogs on their phone, I hear you, I do that sometimes as well. This is what you need to be using to ensure that the audio comes out crisp. And just like that, co-creator has applied magic audio settings to improve the audio quality. Now, to continue using the co-creator tool, you can do one of two things. You can either select the suggestions button and it's going to give you a few different ideas of how you can use it. For example, remove unnecessary parts of my video, enhance the visuals, or literally just do it all. Or you can actually type in your own prompt. For example, I might type in add captions. Oh, I don't know why. I'm in caps lock. I don't know why I'm yelling at the co-creator. So as you can see, it's followed up with a very important question, which is what kind of style would I want? Let's go with basic. And there you go. It's added captions to my video. And don't worry, guys, you can of course amend these captions further. I can click on it, drag it around the screen so it ends up where I want it to be. I can change the font, the size, how many lines appear on the screen at one time, the color, the edges, the positioning, like literally every single element of it. So that's just a sneak peek into how co-creator can essentially become your like content assistant without you having to hire anyone. And you can do all of that in Riverside. Click the link in my description to get started with this tools amongst several others and use code jade.beason to get 15% off when you upgrade your plan. All right, so this next strategy is one of those ones that we're just going to struggle through together because this is definitely not something I've been using, but it's something that I'm going to try to implement into my content moving forward. All right, so I'm calling this one access versus authority. And what it's referring to is the type of content you create and how you balance it effectively. Spoiler alert, I have not been balancing it effectively up until this point. So what you need to understand when it comes to strategy is that it looks at your content as being in 2 separate categories. One is your access categories. So this is content that provides your audience with access to you. This is the more raw, unfiltered, behind the scenes style content. This is your photo dump, which shows what you've been up to for the past month. This is your day in the life vlog, which shows the behind the scenes of you running your business. This is your yappy video that you just filmed with your phone camera rather than your fancy camera, talking about a story or something that you experienced. That is your access content. That is the content that gives people access to you. The other category is your authority category. This is your highly produced, highly prepped content. This is the content that shows people what you can do. So if you're in the content creation space, maybe this content is highly edited, right? If you look at some of my reels, I'll put some examples on the screen, you can see what I'm referring to. We've got the different angles. I'm using my high quality camera. We're getting creative with the captions and the music. But not only that, but the content itself is like highly educational. I'm teaching something, I'm demonstrating my expertise, and that is helping me build authority. Now, these two types of content exist for everyone, regardless of your niche. Let's say you're a fashion creator. Your authority content will probably be your highly produced videos where you're showing your different outfits, right? Whereas your access content might be you doing a story time of the time you, I don't know, broke your shoe whilst you were out. That actually has happened to me. I feel like that's like a canon event. It was a heel as well. So I broke one heel and then I stayed out. The essence of this strategy lies in balancing the two. The balance that you want will depend on who you are and what you're trying to achieve. But I'm personally trying to achieve a 70-30 split, which means 70% of my content will be my authority content, 30% of my content will be my access content. At the moment, I would say maybe 2% of my content is my access content. It's going to help me and you for a variety of reasons. You need the authority content in order to give yourself credibility within your space. It helps you get brand partnerships. It helps show people what you can really do and how much you really know about your niche or about the topics that you discuss. That needs to be balanced with the access content because people need to feel like they actually know you. It's actually where the trust is built in the access content. It's also arguably where you start to create some advocates. Do you remember I used to talk about advocates all the time in the early days? Let's bring this back. Advocates are people who truly care about you, not just the content you're creating. In order to create advocates, you have to let them in some shape or form to your life. I'm not saying you now need to share your deepest, darkest secrets or like shove a camera in front of all your family's face, but I am saying that you need to open the doors to the behind the scenes of your life if you want to truly build that community of advocates. In 2026, consumer behavior data showed that 82% of users feel more loyal to creators who show the behind the scenes unedited content. I do this because all content is edited to some extent. But isn't that wild? 82%. Crazy. But to balance that out, 65% of the same people who were surveyed say they only make purchasing decisions based on creators who demonstrate a high level of professional quality in their content. Do you see why it's important to balance the two? I feel like that was a mic drop moment, but I don't want to drop this mic. This next strategy, if used correctly, could really supercharge your journey. Like, this is the definition of a shortcut to success as a creator. This is all about proximity, specifically proximity to creators who you can learn from. Now, we all know the power in learning from others. This isn't new, right? This hasn't just recently been invented. There is so much power in learning from other people's content, journeys, strategies. It can really help you fast track your entire process. If there's someone out there who's achieved what you're trying to achieve and they've learned everything about what to do and what not to do in order to get there, if you speak to that person and they tell you all of their lessons and learnings, you'll be able to skip past all of the mistakes that they made and go straight to the end result. That is why learning from others is so important. The mistake that a lot of us make, though, is we think that we can learn from others simply by stalking them online. So we're like, okay, great. Well, that person's doing what I want to do, so I'm just going to follow their Instagram and then, just copy what they're doing. This doesn't work for so many reasons. First of all, you can never truly know what someone's strategy is just by looking at their content, believe it or not. So you're probably going to waste a lot of time thinking you're copying their strategy when actually you don't even know what the foundations of their strategy is. In addition to that, you will fall into the comparison trap. I don't think there's a person out there who would not fall into this trap. If they were stalking, or let's say following, to be a little bit less intense, people who are further ahead in their journey, and if they were actively looking, analyzing, and reviewing their content on a daily basis, that is going to get to you. It's going to make you feel anxious. It's going to make you feel like you're not doing enough. It's going to make you feel frustrated if you're not growing at the rate that you think they're growing at, or at the rate that you think you should be growing at. It's going to trigger all of these emotions inside you. Trust me, I've been there, and every creator I've spoken to has been there too. So what should you do instead? Well, instead of just following, you need to actually connect with these creators. You need to actually speak to them. You need to get to know them. You need to join a community. You need to form a circle. And I know this is going to make a lot of people feel awkward because they're like, I don't want to just DM people being like, hey, can you be my friend? But if you really want to get ahead, that is what you should do. Let me give you an example. Last year, I went on a workcation with 9 or 10 other female founders. By the end of those 5 days, I left with a list of tools, systems, tips, and tricks that would have taken me years to get if I hadn't gone on that workcation. Literally, I would just go up to someone and be like, hey, I've never figured out how to do this one thing in my business. Do you know how to do it? And they'd be like, yeah, download this, do that, and then hire this person. And within a week, I was like up and running, and all the challenges that I had in my business were pretty much gone. It blew my mind. Now, I'm not saying to reach out to 10 people on the internet and be like, hey, do you want to go get a cabin in the woods with me for 5 days? Because that doesn't sound safe. What I am saying is spend some time researching online communities that you can join. And then, very important, be active in those communities. It's not enough just to join them and tick that box. You've got to be active in them. You guys know probably that I have my own community. It's called The Collective. I've actually recently relaunched it. I've made it significantly cheaper. It's solely focused on the community element of being a creator. And if you click the link in my description to join the waitlist, you can get a free trial when the doors open. So if you're looking for a creator community, my one could be the one, but I'm not precious, my loves. I don't care if it's my one or someone else's one. I just want you to join one. And I want you to be active, ask questions, connect. That is going to be the quickest way for you to get ahead. This last strategy is really an interesting one. I'm calling it the community architect. Good, right? The strategy is going to feel a little bit counterproductive isn't the right word, like counterintuitive. I don't know. It's going to feel opposite to what you think I'm going to say. So you're just going to need to stick with me for it, right? The strategy is to shift your focus from mass reach, so going viral and just getting as many views as you possibly can, to private engagement. So smaller communities and smaller groups rather than consistently putting all of your effort into fighting the algorithm. Now, a caveat I need to say here before we dive into this one is I'm not saying to no longer focus on getting reach, because in order for everything to work, you still need to be reaching people. Don't get me wrong. It's just that I want you to shift part of your focus from always trying to get reach and trying to go viral to actually building a smaller, more private community on the platform of your choice. Now, a bit of backstory here. Instagram have been saying for literal years now that all of the engagement happens in the DMs. All of the engagement happens in the broadcast channels. All of the engagement happens in private sharing. They've been saying this for years. Other platforms have started to say the same thing. And as a result, they've started to create ways in order for you to build private communities. You can do this on TikTok. You can do this on Instagram with broadcast channels. You can even do it on YouTube with memberships. You can use all of these tools to basically build micro communities, which consists of your advocates, like your real deep fans who are all interested in specific things, specific way of life, whatever it might be, what bonds you together. You're creating a space for that community to thrive. This is working for the top creators at the moment for a variety of reasons. First of all, it means they don't always have to fight the algorithm. As I said, when you build these private communities, it's a lot more likely for your content to actually reach people in them. That way you could guarantee that you always have a direct line to like your deepest fans. In addition to this, it's helping them monetize, because in these micro communities, it's actually where your like high intent audience would live, which is basically like, if you look at the traditional marketing funnel, get your marketing hats on. The bottom of the funnel is where your high intent audience are, because these are people who became aware of your content. They started to consider you as someone they might want to follow. They then decided to follow you. And at the very bottom, they're in that micro community, which also means they're ready to buy because you've moved them down that funnel. So if you ever want to release a product or a service, they're going to be the ones who are most likely to buy that from you. If you're going to have a brand partnership, they're going to be the ones who are most likely to click on that link for you, right? So by creating these micro communities, you're actually going to increase the chances of you earning a decent income too. The current data shows that private engagement features, so like your DMs, your broadcast channels, etc., sees 3 to 7 times greater interactions than content shown on your public feed. 3 to 7 times. The data speaks for itself. If you want to utilize a strategy, I recommend you do it on one platform. So pick your favorite core platform where most of your audience are. Look into the private community features that lend itself to that platform and get really clear on what the value offering is of your micro community. So why should someone join? Should they join because they're going to get exclusive content, maybe personal updates, maybe you're going to do watch along parties or a book club in there, whatever it is, define it before you announce it to your audience. And there you go. You now have 5 ways to get dangerously ahead as a content creator. If you feel like hanging around, I recommend watching this video. I break down the ultimate creator workflow. It's the perfect video to watch if you are struggling to keep up with the huge amount of content that we need to produce on a daily basis as a creator. Don't forget to click the link in my description to get started with Riverside and use code jade.beason to get 15% off when you upgrade your plan. Thanks so much for watching. As always, I can't wait to see you in my next video.